Hello and welcome to Road Adventure Photos. We're headed to Steubenville, Ohio and the surrounding area for a photography trip for Jefferson County, Ohio. The weather outlook is very poor. I have no idea what I'll be able to pull off, but it's part of the project to do these when you can. If the day happens to be poor weather, well, go try anyhow. These counties ain't going anywhere. I can go back to them if I don't like the photos and I want to try again. Right now, we're leaving Newark, Ohio. We're on State Route 13 South. Coming into view on the right is the famous Longaberger Basket. The Longaberger people were once very wealthy in the area, and they cut a tax deal where they could afford to build a very expensive 7-story basket. And since then, the company has faltered, and they've left us with a moldy old basket. And so we've made it to Bridgeport. And we're going to head up this 7 north for a couple miles, and then we'll be in Jefferson County, and we'll start looking for photo ops. This would be the National Road, which is State Route 40. The National Road is a historic road dating all the way back to General Washington's time with General Bradford, before the nation was even formed. And at this exit, we will be entering Jefferson County. There's our sign right there. We'll have a look at Yorkville. my first time of being here as well. Looks like a lot of demolition is going on. I mean, a lot. For the purposes of expediency, I'm going to speed the video up quite a bit, and I'll just try to show some of the more interesting parts of Yorkville. And we'll get back down to the steel mill area where I'll get some photos of the river and some construction work they're doing, or deconstruction work, I guess you'd say, on the steel mill. They're tearing it down, and it looks like they're baling up all the scrap to be sold off. So once we get through the 50-cent tour of town, I'll show you some of the pictures I got. That appears to be some sort of loading facility or offloading facility for boats off the river. Pretty old structure. Right next to the steel mill there was a view of the river. And it was a boat dock that would have been used for loading and unloading products at the steel mill. And the locks are pretty interesting because the Ohio River can get so shallow at certain times of year that you can pretty much walk across it, from what I understand. So those locks will keep it open longer by allowing a deeper channel to allow the boats to go through. There was a steel mill in Yorkville, and these are some photos of the demolition work going on to remove that steel mill. And the work looks considerable. That steel mill was very large. It'll be some time before it's all removed. After leaving Yorkville, I headed up to Brilliant, Ohio. This is the power plant and some steel mills we passed. And Brilliant, Ohio was kind of run down, at least the parts I drove through. The houses looked a little tore up and in need of care. But it's typical Rust Belt. I mean, the people that live there are good people. The people that left had to leave for other opportunities for their family. So the resources just aren't there to keep the cities going when that happens. We'll go down and take a look. After leaving those houses, I just found it kind of humorous that the haunted house didn't look a whole lot different. Now, this is just one little corner of the town. I just found it humorous. The rest of the town is well kept, and people live in a nice, quiet community here. It's definitely not all bad. As we're leaving, we'll start running up along the Ohio River, and that was pretty much the standard view for the rest of the day. Ohio's State Route 7 is a beautiful drive. It's on the Ohio Byway listings if you ever want to check it out. But we start heading towards Mingo Junction, and I'll take a short break up here and show you what's underneath an old railroad bridge I decided to explore a little bit. As we go through some of these old steel mill areas, it's surprising to me how they still stay industrial. There's still things going on. It's just an area that's just refusing to die. But I'll take a stop here and take a little break with the geese under the bridge. What I had hoped to be a interesting exploration turned out to be just a off-limits railroad bridge. So I didn't want to break any laws, and I just sat and watched the geese for a while. And it was actually kind of a nice scene down there. A little creepy because there was a homeless camp there, but they weren't bothering anybody. And then I seen this sign that I just found humorous in a country struggling with obesity. The Ag Council decided to tell us to quit wasting food. Well, if you're not gonna waste it, you're gonna eat it, and that's gonna make you more obese. And you just start going down a rabbit hole if you start researching the SaveTheFood.com website. Mingo Junction was an interesting place. Here we have the old Avalon Bar. There's a place called Smitty's that looks like it might have been a old store. Might have been something else. The ghost advertising left over from Mail Pouch. Just an empty area from a tore down building. Merchandise still for sale. An old parking lot. Those old parking meters still work, but barely. Just some old ruins left from demolition of buildings. And just old derelict buildings. The town hopefully will come back someday, and there were some businesses operating. Like there was a coffee shop, but had a pit bull inside that was just wanting to kill me. So it was still a place where people live, and I don't want to put it down, but it was more interesting on the history side than I could find optimism for the future. The next stop is Steubenville, the county seat of Jefferson County. We're approaching the Jefferson County Courthouse. The courthouse is quite a beautiful one for the area. And I tried to get out and find out more, but it was a strange situation. Maybe I just hit it at a bad day. I don't know. But when I was there were a lot of people that obviously had some drug problems that were begging for dollars. So I had to just kind of forgo that area for a little bit. Wasn't in the mood for it this day. I was in the mood to see some sights. But this is also the home to the famous Dean Martin. He was a singer, popular with Jerry Lewis, was a sidekick when he did his acting career. But he was popular from, I know into the 70s when I remember him, and probably through most of the 60s. And there's one of the town's murals. And this area got pretty rough. We had a lot of large groups hanging out that, I don't know, maybe they had reason, but they just had a way about them that I wasn't going to deal with. And I just kind of went on down to the Steelworkers mural and took some photos of it. And at this point, we're not too far from it. The steelworker statue was made from steel at one of the local foundries, of course, and it's quite a tribute to the workers that really built a big part of the country. It was quite a thing to see. I recommend stopping by and giving your respects to those guys. It was a dangerous, dirty, hot job, and it was ended unfairly, in my opinion, with cheap imports. But that's all for the Steubenville area, and I think that about wraps it up for the photos of Jefferson County. I'll let you have a little bit of the view from a rainy ride back home, and I'll catch you the next time. Thanks for watching.